Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. We are students from BA2761A and today we will presenting our group assignment, which is the Financial Accounting Report of Aloha Level. Our presentation is based on the fundamental financial accounting and reporting of a sole proprietorship or partnership business. This assignment is prepared for Dr. Shazali bin Shaharuddin. Before we begin our presentation, allow me to introduce our group members. First, we have Muhammad Rifki Faiz bin Mat Hazri. Next, Muhammad Wafi bin Nur Hisham. Then, Nur Atira Unaisah binti Nurman. Next, Aina binti Zul Hisham. And lastly, I am Nurdiana binti Diah Putra Yuandika. Together, we will be presenting our financial accounting report on Aloha Level. So, without further ado, let us proceed with the presentation. As you can see in our presentation, we will show you guys about background of business, characteristic of the business, classification of business, the recording process of the business, also strengths and weaknesses. Alright, I'll start the presentation with the introduction of the assignment. First and foremost, this group assignment aims to examine the operational activities of a small business and the application of accounting principles in its daily transaction. The study also focuses on how financial information is collected, classified, recorded and used in the preparation of the financial statement. For your information, all the data for this assignment were collected through our interviews with the business owner and direct observation of business operations. In this assignment, also will identify the strengths and weaknesses of the business accounting recording process. Last but not least, for this assignment, Aloha Level was selected as our case study due to its clear and consistent daily financial activities, including cash sales, purchases, and operating expenses.
So now I will present about background of the business of Aloha Level. So first we will look at name of the business. Aloha Level is a food and beverage business established in 2022. Puan Zubaidah is the owner of the business. The business is registered under Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia SSM as Zubaidah Maju Enterprise, ensuring it operates legally and in compliance with business regulations. Next, we will look at type of the business. Aloha Level is a sole proprietorship business. The sole proprietorship structure allows the owner to maintain full control over decision-making processes without the need for partner or shareholder. This type of registration is commonly chosen by small business due to its simplicity, lower cost, and minimal legal requirements. Currently, Puan Zubaidah operates solely without any additional employees. Next, we will look at location of business. The business strategically choose Mara Negeri Melaka, tingkat 35 Plaza Usahawan Jalan Hantua 75300 Melaka as the location to operate the business due to high concentration of students in the area. The menu is designed to match student food trends by offering affordable and popular items that suit their preference. Besides that, the business also attracts working individuals and members of general public. Next, we will look at business activity. The business operates primarily in the sale of snack and light meal, with its main attraction being cones, waffle, ramen, sausages, and ice cream. All major equipment used in daily operations such as the waffle machine, cone steamer, and ice cream freezer are owned by the business. In addition, Puan Zubaidah also operates other small ventures including the sale of coconut and sugarcane juice in Malay. Also, she operates mini catering service that focus on ice cream cones. Next, we will look at capital contributions. Aloha Level was started using the owner personal capital without any bank loans or external financing. The business generated approximately Rm1,000 in weekly revenue during its first and second years of operations, while expenses are estimated at 500 ringgit. The monthly store rental is 100 ringgit, which includes water and electricity. On the other hand, the waffle menu contributed the highest sales, followed by ramen, which required weekly restocking, and lastly sausages. To maintain turnover and manage rising costs, the business increased waffle price by Rm50 cents, while prices for other items according to waffle flavor and spread types. So now, I will present characteristics of the business of Aloha Waffle. First, we will look at business registrations. So, Aloha Waffle operates under the business name Zubada Maju Enterprise and is officially registered as a sole proprietorship with the Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia SSM, in accordance with the Registration of Business Act 1956. This registration provides legal recognition for business to operate in Malaysia and ensure compliance with government regulations. Next, capital and business ownerships. The business was established solely using Puan Subada personal saving with no external investor or bank loans involved. This indicates that the business is fully owned and financed by Puan Subada and giving her complete ownership rights and authority over the business asset and profits. Next, we will look at management and control. Aloha Waffle is engaged in the sale of variety of food and beverage products. All management and operational activities are handled directly by Puan Subada with no hired workers, who is responsible for planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the business operations. Puan Subada's responsibility include managing daily sales, supervising food preparations, and ensuring hygiene and safety standards are met. Next, we will look at book of accounts. Puan Subada maintains a book of accounts to systematically record all financial transactions of the business. This book serves as a journal where daily sales, expenses, purchases, and other financial activities are documented accurately. The business earned an estimated weekly sales revenue of around 1,000 ringgit with an initial capital of 500 ringgit. On a monthly basis, the business can generate approximately 6,000 ringgit, and the yearly income is higher depending on sales consistency. Next, we will look at liability. Aloha Waffle operates with no outstanding liabilities, as the business is fully funded by the owner and does not rely on external financing or loans. Since there are no debts owed to banks, suppliers, or third parties, the business is not burdened by financial obligations that could affect its stability. This allows Puan Subada to manage the business with low financial risk and greater flexibility in daily operations.
Next, I will explain the classification of business items from Aloha Waffle. First, I will start with assets. Assets are resources owned by the business that have monetary value and can provide future economic benefits. For Aloha Waffle, assets can be divided into current assets and non-current assets. Current assets are assets that can be converted into cash within 1 year. Examples of current assets include cash in hand and inventories such as flour, corn, instant noodles, ice cream toppings, and packaging materials. These items are used daily in business operations. Non-current assets are assets that are used for a long period of time. Aloha Waffle's non-current assets include tangible assets such as the waffle machine, corn steamer, and ice cream freezer. These assets help the business produce and sell its product. Besides that, Aloha Waffle also owns intangible assets such as its brand name, SSM registration, and secret recipes. Although intangible assets cannot be physically touched, they still contribute to the business value. Next, I will move on to capital. Capital represents the owner's investment in the business. Aloha Waffle was established using the owner's personal capital of 3,000 ringgit without any external or bank finances. Since Aloha Waffle is a sole proprietorship, the capital belongs fully to the owner. Any profit earned by the business will increase the capital, while any loss will reduce it. After that, we have revenue. Revenue refers to the income earned from the main business activities. For Aloha Waffle, revenue mainly comes from daily sales of food and beverages such as waffle, corn, instant noodles, sausages, and ice cream. All cash received from customers through these sales is recorded as revenue. Last but not least, I will explain about expenses. Expenses are costs incurred to generate revenue and they do not provide long-term benefits. Examples of expenses for Aloha Waffle includes the purchase of raw materials, rental, water and electricity bills, and other operating expenses. These expenses must be recorded carefully because they directly affect the profit or loss of the business. In conclusion, proper classification of assets, capital, revenue, and expenses helps Aloha Waffle to understand its financial position and manage the business more effectively. That's all for my part. Thank you.
For my part, I will explain the recording process of the business. This business uses a manual single-entry bookkeeping system because it is a small-scale business. All transactions are recorded in a notebook instead of using accounting software. The owner focuses mainly on cash transactions and records them on a daily basis to make sure nothing is missed. This method is simple and suitable for businesses with low transaction volume. Next, how transactions are recorded. Before recording any transaction, the owner collects basic source documents such as cash receipts and daily sales notes. For sales, the owner records the total sales at the end of each business day based on the cash received and the number of waffles sold. For purchases such as ingredients, gas and packaging, the transactions are recorded immediately after payment. Recording purchases immediately helps to reduce errors and ensure that all expenses are properly recorded. Even though the process is simple, it is done consistently every day. Lastly, monthly review and limitation. At the end of the month, the owner prepares a simple monthly summary. This summary includes total monthly sales, total expenses, and the calculation of profit. By preparing this summary, the owner can evaluate the business performance and plan for the next month, such as restocking ingredients or controlling costs. However, this business doesn't apply a double entry accounting system. As a result, there are no ledgers or trial balance, which may make it difficult to detect recording errors or missing transactions. In conclusion, the recording process used by this business is simple and suitable for a small-scale operation. Daily recording helps the owner monitor sales and expenses effectively. However, the lack of double entry system may increase the risk of errors. Overall, this system is practical but has limitations.
Next is the strengths and weaknesses of the recording process at Aloha Waffle. The recording process at Aloha Waffle is based on manual record keeping, where the owner personally writes down sales and transactions without using any digital systems. The first strength of this manual recording process is its low administrative costs. The owner doesn't need to pay for accounting software subscription, extra staff salaries, and investments in computers or any other devices. For a small enterprise that generates about 1,000 ringgit weekly, this keeps the overhead minimum. Next, it allows the solo owner to manage everything independently without learning complex systems. The owner uses basic tools like notebook or receipt book, which require zero installation and IT support. It is ideal for self-funded businesses without staff or tech budgets. The last strength is it gives the owner direct control and immediate awareness of the daily performance. By personally noting each day's sales, and the owner naturally becomes very familiar with the product that sells well and which do not. For a small business, this kind of hands-on monitoring can be effective for quick decision making. Next is the weaknesses. The first weaknesses is high risk of human error. When everything is written by hand, it is easy to miswrite a figure, forget to record sales during busy periods, or lose some small slips or notes. Over time, this small mistake can cause the recorded profit to differ from the real profit, which makes it harder to know whether the business is truly improving or not. The second weakness is it creates problem for transparency and formal requirement. If the business needs to prepare a proper financial statement, apply for financing in the future, or respond to tax queries, unorganized manual record can cause stress and extra work. Or paper records are very vulnerable to damage, loss, and if the owner misplaces the book, it can destroy weeks of data. Without systematic backups, it becomes hard to prove income and expenses clearly. The last weaknesses is the manual process limits scalability. Right now, the system may still be manageable because the weekly turnover is not high and the owner handles everything alone. But if the business increases sales or add more menu items, the current method will quickly become too slow and messy. More transactions means more chances for errors, and the owner times will be limited between operations and writing records. In the long run, continuing with purely manual record makes the growth harder.
This study concludes that Aloha Waffle demonstrates a clear application of accounting principle in managing the financial records of a sole proprietorship business. Proper classification of business items, including assets, liabilities, capital, revenues, and expenses, plays a crucial role in ensuring accurate and systematic financial information. The findings indicate that the manual bookkeeping system currently practiced is appropriate for a small-scale business due to its simplicity, low operating costs, and direct owner involvement. However, the system presents several limitations, such as increased risk of human error, limited transparency, and restricted scalability as business operations expand. Overall, the improvement and well-structured from Aloha Waffle in accounting system will support better financial planning, performance evaluation, and informed decision-making for the long-term sustainability of the business.